Hey, my wonderful, wonderful people, a pleasant evening to you. All right, lovely people. Fathers, I'm dedicating this particular video to you. I want to let you know this is what you do to your boy children when you run away and leave them, when you abandon them, when you reject them, when you ostracize them, when you even blackball them. And we're not talking about for the mothers who deliberately take away the child from you. We're talking about on your doing. So the absence of a father in a male child's life can have various consequences, depending on factors such as the presence of other role models, economic stability, community support, and the child's individual resilience. And some of these potential effects include emotional and psychological effects. So the child suffers from feelings of abandonment, low self esteem. I've often said that God has given men the ability to help build self esteem in both male and female children. Identity struggles, they can't identify who they are. You know, higher risk of anxiety. Sometimes you see them, everything, they're just irritable because there is this doubt within that they can't seem to shake. Depression and emotional distress, difficulty in expressing emotions in a healthy way. So what ends up happening, they get involved in gangs and they create mischief and mayhem and wreak havoc in the lives of other families. Behavioral and social challenges, higher likelihood, as I mentioned, of engaging in delinquent behaviors or criminal activities, increased aggression and defiance, towards authority figures. You know, men, God has given men the uncanny ability to teach children how to be obedient and respectful. I'm not saying mothers can't, but men just has that natural authority or authoritarian way and nature in which they can guide the child in teaching obedience and respect to authority. Increased aggression, as I said, or defiance towards authority figures, difficulty in forming healthy relationships, especially with male peers and authority figures. They don't have that sort of, they don't have that rearing, that knowledge of how to bond with other males. So what ends up happening is that they get in fights, they become the bully or they are being bullied, because they don't have that. They didn't grow up with, having a father, or even sometimes they may have a brother, but, even the brother is trying to navigate life. So they don't seem to get on well. They're often in fights and they don't respect authority figures. Academic or career outcomes, lower academic performance due to lack of guidance, as I said, that men are gifted in doing, and motivation. Again, men have the ability to build that self-esteem, that confidence in a child, to let the child know that they can become whoever they want to and accomplish what they can. And also, men tend to listen to men when men speak. Even women, it's just with the God-given gift in men. Higher chances of dropping out of school, limited career aspirations due to lack of a strong male role model, which is very key and necessary. Masculinity and identity development, struggles with defining masculinity and male identity. They end up, may adopt extreme forms of masculinity, such as hyper masculinity, this over macho, because you don't want to seem, because you're growing up with your mother probably, or some strong female, the matriarch, and you're developing, that sort of feminine trait. You don't want that to be a part of your mantra, your walk, your mainstay. So you try to overcompensate by being overly macho, which is a fake sense of masculinity. It's not real. It's not good. Or struggle with gender role expectations. So sometimes you're not even sure where you're placed on the spectrum, because you're not guided by that man as to how, as a man, as a boy, you ought to operate, in a healthy way. Even while getting in touch with your feminine side. When I say get in touch with your feminine side, meaning you're very compassionate, you become understanding, you are sensitive to the needs of others. In that sense, or those areas I'm talking. Influence of peers and media in shaping gender identity instead of a father figure. Because there is a void within, you're going to go with what is popular, and you start to shape yourself in accordance. Unfortunately, it's usually in gang related type situations, because you want to feel belong, so you join these groups. Economic and social mobility, economic hardship, especially in single mother households. Limited access to resources, becomes difficult for the mother to deal with that child financially. Mentorship and career opportunities are very much limited. Higher likelihood of repeated cycles of absentee fatherhood in adults, so they end up doing the very same thing that you did to them. Mitigating factors. So while father absence can have negative effects, and other support systems such as strong maternal figures, extended family, mentors, and community programs can help male children develop resilience. But I want you to understand, men, that you break your men. They so many times don't even know how to operate as men. I was on a live today, and they were talking about the concerns that they're having about these men. Back in the day, you couldn't walk in peace. Men would just make their, they had no qualms in approaching women. Their fathers would teach them how to do that. They would have developed that tenacity, that boldness, that courage. It is attractive to women. It is attractive to women when men are bold. Yes, you're going to have men who are bold, and you approach a woman who you're not her type. And she's not interested. Sometimes you have to wear her down. Sometimes you're wearing down only yourself. And you just have to understand that and respect that. But irrespective of that, it is part of your masculine walk and talk to approach women, to pursue the woman. You are the hunter, and the huntee is looking for you. And I will see that I've never been attracted to men who will see women and they just curl up because they say, Lord, she looks intimidating. Lord, me don't want she buff. Me take the buffing if that is the case. Eliminate until you get to your Esther. Eliminate until you get to your Ruth. You have to do that, men. And I've heard that the man was saying that, I don't know if statistics were showing a 40% drop in men approaching women. It's like you'll be considered the beta man. It is so unattractive because a woman is like that. She don't, and sometimes I've heard of women pursuing men, which I really don't like that. I can't tell anybody what to do. I just don't think that type of masculine role is for the woman. Or I saw where a woman proposed to a man on her knees. Oh my God. No. It's almost like I'm saying, might as well exchange body parts. Sort of a thing, the balls and the testicles and the penis, and he takes the vagina. It just, but then again, to each his or her own. But men, fathers, you damage, unfortunately, the male child's life, and what ends up happening, they become crooked, and I don't mean crooked as in terms of thieves, but they become dysfunctional and defective men, unwholesome, unhealthy for our women. That is what you're doing. You're taking the life, the social life, the psychological life, the emotional life, and the financial life from the man. Even in terms of sexual prowess and gift and knowing how to satisfy his woman, he's unable to do. He's just doing the slam bam. Thank you so much, madam. And the woman is sexually frustrated and annoyed. And these things, they have rippling effects, like the whole jacket and tie situation. Fathers, you're doing a disservice to your children. And the Bible says you're worse than an unbeliever, than a cheater. And an unbeliever has so many people in it. Guys, you know what to do with TikTok and YouTube. Subscribe and give me one of them lions.